That's a lot of good info. Well,
I don't mind sharing what I've learned. I had a lot of good people share with me, so I'm very open to sharing what I've learned about the process.
well, I love your attitude because I love your attitude because that's a lot of attitude. That's the same attitude I have. I learned a lot, so I share a lot with others. So I mean, it's good. It's good that you have that.
Yeah, I think some people, more people would have that attitude, but I think fear. A lot of people are afraid that if they share, that person might take their spot or something like that. I don't fear that because I feel that what's meant for me is for me, and nothing will stop that. And sharing certainly can. Helping someone out and sharing what you know can certainly not stop your destiny or your future. So I don't fear that, and that's why, I take pleasure in helping people as much as I can. And also I learned from a very great author friend of mine who always shared and always tried to help no matter what. Mr. Ethan Harris, who passed away, and I miss him terribly. Very sharing and giving toward me, and he taught me to be that way, and I can't help but be that way. Although I'm nowhere near in his league, but he always made me feel that I was. And so if I can pass a little bit on of what he gave me, then that will make me a happy person.
Very good, very good. Now I'm going to go on as far as speaking of the process, speaking of sharing. Well, share with us your reaction you learned when you learned your first book was published.
Oh, I mean, I was thrilled, of course. I mean, I was at work. I was working in a small office in the accounting section, and so there were only probably about 8 of us. When my agent called, and she was like, got good news, and I'm bouncing out of my chair. And she told me that she sold the book, I just screamed real loud, and everybody was gathered around because they knew that my agent was shopping my book around, and we just didn't know what happened. It was me as a dad. And so we had a little mini celebration. I left work early because I couldn't concentrate on numbers, haven't gotten that good news. But that was it. Very excited. Left early. And I think I took the next day off as well. So it was very exciting.
As I bet it was. That's how I felt when my first book was published. All right, now I'm sorry. Now on your latest project, not quite what it seems. What was your influence for it?
Actually, I took one of the characters in the first book, Never as Good as the First Time, suffered a lot of trauma, and so she began to speak to me about her story, and I started writing it. The character aged a few years, and so actually it's sort of a continuation of a character from the first book. So that's the influence.
Say it again.
It's really basically about a character from the first book. So
Okay.
That's what it is.
Okay. Well, I got news for you. I'm going to order it. And
well, I'm happy. I'm very happy.
I'm definitely going to order it.
Thank you for your support. And I'm going to do likewise. I have to order your book. So, we've got to exchange information about that.
Well, that's cool. Now I'm going to change gears for a second because I also know that you spend a lot of time freelance writing and editing. What any particular one? Well, which particular ones do you write for? Any publications or sites or?
Well, actually, when you freelance, you're really writing for yourself, and you sell the article to whomever, and that's basically how it works. But the main magazine that I started out freelancing for was Urban Trendsetters magazine, and it's free to the public. It's just what it says, urban newsletter, telling them all of the news that would be of interest to those who, live in urban areas. And so I did quite a bit of writing and editing for that magazine.
Well, in my research of you, this is what made me really want to make sure I got this interview with you. In addition to writing, you volunteer as a tutor, grant researcher, probably doing a whole lot of other things. What non-writing, non-work activity does Mary love to do for Mary?
For me, you mean other than volunteering?
Yeah, I mean something that you do to make you feel good.
Oh, well, I don't know. If I'm pretty busy, with writing right now, so I don't have a lot of time to do the things that I normally do. I've volunteered a lot in the last year or so since the book came out, and now the second book's getting ready to hit. So I really haven't had a lot of free time.
Let me rephrase the question. What does Mary do to pamper herself when she's not so busy?
Okay. What do I do to pamper myself? I've really been busy. I try to take a vacation. Now, the last vacation I took I went to Palm City, Florida, and what I did to treat myself is I love. Did I say love? Seafood. And they have, of course, I call it the seafood capital of the world, but it probably isn't. But I used to love to go to this restaurant, and I think it was closer to Vero Beach than Palm City. But anyway, we'd watch the boats come in from fishing. So they'd have the fresh catch on the boat, and they have these crabs, and they are so delicious. Crabs, they're probably about 4 or 5 inches round or whatever. And so we would, watch them, clean those, and we would either have them cook some for us there, or we would take them back to our place and cook them. And they're just so very delicious. So I think that's one of the things I try to do to treat myself. And of course, if I can sneak a moment away to read, that's still one of my greatest pleasures is reading, because I love a good story. So if I can do that, I feel pampered.
All right, sounds good. Now, what's next for Mary Walter? What's next on the horizon for you?
Well, we all wish we could predict the future, but one thing I know that I will be doing is writing and more writing. I have so many stories in my head. They're like fighting to see which one's going to get out next. But the story that I think is going to be next is called The Carpet Man. And it's about this guy, just an average guy who makes a living, laying floors. Laying flooring, like carpet and like tile, like wood. And so it's all about his adventures with different women. And so that's all I'm going to say about that. But it's a project that's really jumping to the forefront, and I think that will be it.
Okay. And final question, and this is part of my website. On my show website, I'm going to have a pay it forward area where and you're perfect because you do a lot of volunteer work. Do you have any particular